They built it from nothing, and now it's redefining the future of cities. China's newest $50 billion megaproject isn't just big, it's futuristic, self-sustaining, and already years ahead of the West. Massive vertical gardens, floating transport systems, and underground highways all run by AI. What this city represents might mark the end of America's dominance. Get ready, because what you're about to see will blow your mind. Number 10. Yellow River Underwater Tunnel. Deep beneath China's second-longest river, a machine the size of a 5-story building chewed through rock and mud at a pace that shattered world records. The Jinan-Huanggang Road Yellow River Crossing Tunnel features the largest diameter of any underwater shield tunnel ever built, 55.8 feet wide, enough space to stack 3 double-decker buses side by side. Construction teams using the massive Shanhei boring machine completed the 2-mile underwater section in just 110 days, advancing between 52.5 and 59 feet daily, and covering up to 1,396 feet monthly. That speed set a new world record for 17-meter class shield construction and left international engineers stunned. The Shanhei machine, manufactured by German company Herrenknecht, is a technological monster. Its cutter head measures 57.5 feet in diameter and generates 7,510 horsepower with torque exceeding 26 million pound-feet. That's roughly equivalent to the combined power of 5,000 car engines working simultaneously. The machine can withstand pressures 7.5 times normal atmospheric pressure, and its excavation chamber handles up to 15 times atmospheric pressure, critical when boring 98 feet below the Yellow River surface. Workers guided the machine through 28 different geological layers, each requiring different strategies and adjustments. The cutting wheel features a specialized flushing system preventing clogging, telescopic cameras allowing maintenance without dangerous worker interventions, and an automatic air cushion system that balances pressure to prevent collapse or flooding. The tunnel itself will span 3.6 miles when fully completed in late 2025, featuring 6 lanes of traffic in both directions arranged in a double-decker configuration with a 37-mile-per-hour speed limit. Number 9. Goliang Tunnel. High in the Taihong Mountains of Hainan Province, a road punches through solid rock 5,600 feet above sea level. The Goliang Tunnel wasn't built by engineers with machines and blueprints. 13 villagers armed with hammers, chisels, and determination spent 5 years carving it by hand. Before 1977, the only way to reach Goliang Village was the Sky Ladder, 720 steep stone steps embedded into a vertical cliff face dating back to the Song dynasty. The climb took hours and killed multiple villagers who slipped on wet stone during rain or winter ice. Transporting goods meant limiting pig weights to 110 pounds because anything heavier couldn't be carried down the treacherous path. The medical emergencies required 8 people to carry a stretcher on a 4-hour journey to the nearest hospital, and many patients died before reaching help. The Chinese government refused to invest millions in a road for just 300 villagers living on an isolated clifftop. So, in 1972, village leader Shen Mingxin assembled the strongest men and they started digging. Without engineering knowledge, power tools, or heavy machinery, they worked in shifts suspended by ropes against the cliff face. Each worker hammered steel chisels into granite, breaking off chunks piece by piece. Progress measured 1 meter every 3 days during the most difficult sections. The tunnel runs 4,100 feet long, 16 feet tall, and 13 feet wide, snaking through the mountain like a serpent. More than 30 windows of varying shapes puncture the outer wall, originally created to dump rubble but now serving as light sources and viewpoints. These openings range from standard window size to dozens of feet long, each one offering glimpses of the canyon plunging hundreds of feet below. The project consumed 4,000 hammers, 12 tons of steel for chisels, and explosive charges to blast through the hardest rock layers. Several villagers died during construction when rock faces collapsed or ropes snapped. But the survivors pushed forward relentlessly. The tunnel surface remains rough and uneven because the tools were so primitive. I'm going to ask you a simple question. Are you a naturally curious person? If you're watching, I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. This space is made for people like us. To ensure you're always part of this community and receive all our latest discoveries, you just need to do one thing: subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay connected with us. Okay, now that you're part of our Legion of the Curious, let's move on to the next item. Number 8. Canton Tower. Rising 1,969 feet above Guangzhou, Canton Tower looks like someone grabbed both ends and gave it a gentle twist. The structure, completed in 2010 for the Asian Games, features a distinctive slim waist design inspired by the female hip bone. At its narrowest point, the diameter measures just 98 feet, creating a dramatic hourglass silhouette that's become Guangzhou's most recognizable landmark. Dutch architect Mark Hemmel designed the twist to serve both aesthetic and structural purposes. Two elliptical shapes rotate relative to each other, creating the tight waist at the tower's midpoint. The lattice exterior starts porous and spacious at ground level, tightens into a dense, rope-like pattern at the waist where transparency reduces, then opens again toward the top as the structure tapers. This rotation reduces wind pressure dramatically, allowing the tower to withstand typhoons that regularly batter the southern Chinese coast. The entire skin is wrapped in 330,000 multicolor LED lights that transform the tower into a massive light show every night. Unlike traditional building illumination where lights shine on the structure, Canton Tower's LEDs are individually controllable, creating animations and color waves that ripple across the entire 1,969-foot height. The lighting system consumes only 15% of the maximum allowed for facade lighting, adhering to low-carbon standards while producing a spectacle visible for miles. Shows typically start at 7 p.m., cycling through soft pinks, electric blues, and vibrant oranges that sync with the city skyline. Inside, the tower divides into 5 vertical zones, labeled A through E, each offering different experiences. Zone E at the top holds the crown jewel, the 488-meter outdoor observation deck, certified by Guinness World Records as the world's highest when it opened in December 2011, surpassing Dubai's Burj Khalifa. Standing on this platform puts visitors 1,601 feet above the Pearl River, with 360-degree views of Guangzhou spreading out like a glowing map. The bubble tram operates at 1,476 feet, making it the world's highest horizontal Ferris wheel. Number 7. The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. Picture a silver line stretching across 34 miles of open sea, connecting 3 major cities that were once separated by hours of travel. The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge stands as one of the most daring infrastructure achievements ever completed. This isn't just pavement over water. It's a bridge that transforms into a tunnel, rises back up through man-made islands, and handles thousands of vehicles daily while cargo ships pass underneath and overhead simultaneously. Workers spent nearly a decade fighting typhoons, unpredictable tides, and engineering challenges that would make most countries quit before starting. The project demanded $18.8 billion and mobilized 14,000 workers at peak construction. They built 2 artificial islands from scratch by driving 120-foot steel cylinders into the seabed and filling them with millions of rock. Between these islands lies a 4.2-mile underwater tunnel, assembled from 33 prefabricated sections, each weighing 80,000 tons. Teams floated these massive concrete boxes to exact positions, then sank them into trenches carved into the ocean floor. Divers worked in pitch-black water, aligning each piece within millimeters before sealing joints with waterproof gaskets. Above water, the main bridge stretches over 18 miles, supported by massive pylons engineered to withstand 190-mile-per-hour typhoon winds. The entire structure reduces what used to be a 4-hour journey into a breezy 30-minute drive, fundamentally changing how millions of people live and work across the Pearl River Delta. Number 6. Raffles City, Chongqing. 8 towers shoot up from the banks where 2 massive rivers collide, and stretched between 4 of them hovers something that looks impossible. The Crystal, a nearly 1,000-foot-long horizontal skyscraper, sits 820 feet above street level, holding restaurants, pools, gardens, and observation decks. From the ground, it resembles a massive ship suspended in mid-air. Architects designed it to mirror Chongqing's identity as a river port city, with each tower representing a ship's mast and the Crystal serving as the hull. Construction teams faced brutal conditions. Wind speeds at that height change by the minute. River fog rolls in without warning. The foundations had to anchor into steep, rocky terrain while active river traffic passed directly below. Engineers treated the Crystal as a separate building with its own steel skeleton, then connected it to the towers through precision joints. The structure came together in 9 sections. 4 were built directly on top of the towers, piece by piece, while 3 others were assembled at ground level and lifted hundreds of feet by specialized cranes. Each lift required perfect weather, calm winds, and teams of workers guiding multi-ton sections into exact positions. At peak activity, 6,000 workers crowded the site, welding beams, installing thousands of custom glass panels, and racing against fog and rain. The total investment reached $4.8 billion for the towers, shopping complex, office spaces, and the sky bridges connecting everything. When it opened in late 2019, hundreds of thousands of visitors flooded the observation deck to stand above the exact spot where the Yangtze and Jialing rivers merge. Number 5. Ping An Finance Center. Rising 1,965 feet over Shenzhen, the Ping An Finance Center ranks as the 5th tallest building worldwide and the tallest in southern China. Its sleek, tapering silhouette isn't just beautiful, it's engineered to fight wind. The aerodynamic shape reduces wind pressure by nearly 1/3, preventing the tower from swaying during coastal typhoons that regularly slam the region. 8 giant columns frame the exterior, all connected to a thick concrete core at the center. Massive steel trusses link the core and outer frame, so the entire structure moves as one unit. The toughest work happened underground. The site sits directly beside an active subway line, forcing crews to dig a deep foundation pit while trains continued running safely nearby. They built thick support walls, drove massive piles into the ground, and poured a reinforced concrete base capable of holding a vertical city. Only after months of underground labor could teams start building upward. Once they did, the pace was stunning. Each new floor went up in about 3 or 4 days, visibly changing Shenzhen's skyline week after week. The 8 chevron-shaped outer columns reveal the building's secret. The central core provides most of the stiffness, while outer columns handle wind and gravity loads. 4 sets of hidden steel outriggers at different levels tie everything together like spokes connecting a wheel's hub and rim. This setup allows wide-open office floors without interior columns, perfect for trading desks and tech companies. Instead of aluminum, builders used 1,700 metric tons of marine-grade stainless steel for the exterior, because regular metal would corrode in Shenzhen's salty, humid air. Every panel was custom-made and installed with surgical precision, so vertical ribs stay perfectly straight from ground to tip. At peak, 15,000 workers filled the grounds, with teams pouring concrete, bolting mega columns, welding trusses, lifting facade panels hundreds of feet high, and wiring the massive podium connecting to the subway. Because Shenzhen experiences frequent lightning, stainless steel piers double as a lightning cage, safely channeling strikes to the ground. The full development cost around $2.1 billion. Number 4. Shanghai Yangshan Deepwater Port Phase 4. 30 miles south of Shanghai, engineers created new land in the middle of the ocean and built the world's largest fully automated container port on top of it. The Yangshan Deepwater Port Phase 4 terminal spans 550 acres of artificial ground where nothing but waves existed before. Construction crews spent months strengthening the seabed, then piled rock and sand to form islands stable enough to support massive machinery. Giant concrete boxes, called caissons, were sunk to lock the shoreline against tides and storms. Once the ground solidified, workers laid it out like a circuit board, burying power cables, data lines, and guidance systems for driverless vehicles. 21 massive red cranes line the waterfront, each capable of lifting 40-ton containers in single motions. Behind them, 108 automated stacking cranes organize containers in towers reaching 80 feet high. Between the cranes and stacks, 125 self-driving electric carriers zip back and forth 24 hours daily, never stopping for breaks. The entire operation runs on proprietary Chinese software that updates in real time, deciding where every container goes, when it moves, and which machine handles it. The terminal doesn't need floodlights at night because sensors, lasers, and algorithms guide every machine through darkness, fog, and perfect accuracy. The $1.95 billion investment created infrastructure that processes more cargo than any other port globally, cementing Shanghai's position as the world's busiest shipping hub. Number 3. Three Gorges Dam Ship Elevator. A massive steel chamber slides vertically between 4 concrete towers built into a cliff face, carrying entire ships and 37,500 tons of water 371 feet up or down in roughly 30 minutes. The Three Gorges Dam Ship Elevator handles vessels weighing 3,000 tons that once needed hours to navigate 5 separate locks. The chamber measures 394 feet long, 59 feet wide, and holds enough water to fill multiple Olympic swimming pools. No other ship elevator anywhere moves this much weight this fast. Engineers carved deep into solid rock to build the foundation and 4 main towers, each anchored directly into bedrock to handle extreme vibration and weight. The chamber was constructed in sections at ground level, then slid into position between the towers and welded so precisely that seams are nearly invisible. Instead of cables, the system uses rack and pinion gears running vertically along each tower, driven by dozens of electric motors. Huge counterweights balance the chamber's mass, meaning motors only guide the motion rather than lifting the full weight. This design works regardless of how river levels fluctuate throughout the year, unlike cable lifts that would snap under changing conditions. Before the first cargo ship rode up in July 2016, teams ran hundreds of tests, checking gears, lasers, and brakes under every possible scenario. When it officially opened in September 2016, transit times dropped from several hours to mere minutes. The elevator was one of the final and most expensive additions to the $31.8 billion Three Gorges project, which employed nearly 40,000 workers at peak construction. Number 2. Beijing Daxing International Airport. From above, Beijing Daxing International Airport looks like a golden starfish spreading across the plains. The main terminal covers 7.5 million square feet, making it one of the largest single buildings on Earth. The entire complex spans 18 square miles and sits 29 miles south of central Beijing. Architects designed it to eliminate the endless walking that plagues most airports. The building fans out from a central hall beneath a flowing, ribbed roof that floods the space with natural daylight. Sweeping steel ribs carry huge spans without cluttering the floor with columns, creating an open, breathable space that separates domestic and international passengers without confusion. Construction began in late 2014 and finished in just 5 years, an almost unbelievable timeline for such a massive project. Before any steel could rise, crews spent months reinforcing soft ground beneath runways and taxiways. Hundreds of giant steel pieces were hoisted and joined like a massive puzzle, allowing the roof to come together in choreographed precision. At peak construction, 40,000 people worked simultaneously. Steel teams bolted roof sections while concrete crews shaped concourses beneath. Electricians ran miles of cables as other teams installed glass panels, tiles, and lights. Hidden below sits one of Doxing's smartest features, a massive 860,000 square foot ground transportation hub connecting high-speed rail, metro lines, and regional trains directly beneath the terminal. Passengers can land, grab luggage, ride an escalator down, and board a fast train into the city within minutes. Number 1. Zhangjiajie Glass Bridge. Suspended 980 feet above a canyon in Zhangjiajie National Park, a glass-bottom bridge stretches 1,410 feet between two mountain cliffs. The Zhangjiajie Grand Canyon Glass Bridge opened in August 2016 and instantly became the world's highest and longest glass pedestrian bridge. Each transparent panel measures about 10 feet by 13 feet and consists of 3 layers of tempered glass totaling 2 inches thick. Walking across feels like floating through empty air, with nothing but hundreds of feet of open space between you and the canyon floor below. The bridge was designed to hold 800 people simultaneously and expected roughly 8,000 daily visitors. Reality proved far more dramatic. Within the first 2 weeks, over 80,000 people per day tried to cross, forcing authorities to temporarily close it just 13 days after opening. The overwhelming demand crashed the reservation system and created traffic jams that backed up for miles. Engineers built the bridge with safety demonstrations that bordered on theatrical. They invited journalists to attack the glass panels with sledgehammers and even drove a fully loaded car across to prove its strength. The structure features 2 massive steel side beams with suspension cables anchoring it to the cliffs on both ends. The transparent deck hangs between these beams like a ribbon suspended in space. 3 large swings dangle from the underside for those who find simply walking across too tame. The bridge also accommodates a 930-foot bungee jump, currently ranked as the highest in the world. Jumpers leap from the center of the span and plummet toward the river while attached to elastic cords. The sensation of free-falling through open air with transparent glass beneath your launch point creates a unique psychological terror that regular bungee jumps can't match.
Still curious? Then don't stop now. The next mystery is already waiting for you. Just click the video on screen. I saved it just for you. See you there, curious one.